Hi there, I am Adam Kirbas, and this is another episode of my podcast. We are still in the pandemic. Nothing has changed. It is still August, an ordinary day in August. I'm here in Turkey, in Ordu, in the Black Sea region in Turkey. And we are still talking about screenplays as well as movie characters and why they might be appealing to us, why we some sort of see ourselves or even favor characters in TV shows and movies. I always said, again, and we will have to repeat this again. This is making movies, TV shows, whatsoever. It would be some sort of naive to assume that these movies, they are all made to some sort of, in a way, art. They are a product of art. Of course, they are art, but this is planned art. This is art which, of course, has plans to reach a lot of people. So art, if you want, that is commercialized. However, despite the fact it is art which has its foundation in society, which I try to prove in a way or another, so that TV shows, this is something you can see always have some sort of a heavy leaning on reality, on society, and this is art. This is actually valuable if you want. This is art which has depth and is not in a way detached, high above and so on. But however, every time you make a movie, this is what we have to repeat here again. So you want, of course, reach a lot of people, and this is why you some sort of make sure of it. This is why many A-listed actors in Hollywood makes so many movies and so on. The last time we talked about Sex and the City, we talked about female characters and why they have so much appeal among women. This is we talked in the beginning about Samantha. I said is some sort of epitomizes this desire of women to be man, to be unconventional, so to be not this girl, if you want, of whom everyone expects to behave so yeah, and function in society. You have, the more you want to please others, the more you want to be some sort of the person everyone expects you to be, the more you want, in a way, break out, break free. And Samantha in Sex and the City, this character of Samantha, pretty much epitomizes it. But of course, this break free, this how you can get out of it, does need a role model, some sort of a precedent. And this is, of course, what many women assume a man in that sense. They can roam around, man can have a lot of sexual partners. We will talk about this when we talk about desire as well, but this is how women, in a way, portray, and in our society, which is still, if you want, so this male gender, or being a man, is still favored. Of course, there are a lot of I would say misconceptions as well, what it is being like man, but mostly it is always been considered as favorable. It is privileged from a white middle class man. So this is what is favored. This is what everyone assumes, that they would have privilege and so on. So we will not go into the detail. We will not solve whether this is true or not for a fact. But this is why so many people some sort of break free. And this is not only about being a man, or this is as well as in generally in conventions. So if you some sort of live in a society which is highly censored by how you behave, how you should act in society, and so on, then of course you want some sort of break free. And we had a small excursion to a Marvel, or the concept of evil in Marvel. I talked about Spider-Man, where some sort of, if you want, Spider-Man, some sort of gets tempted by the dark side, so he becomes Venom, and so on. So he is not this Peter Parker anymore, which everyone expects. He's more not this nice guy anymore. No, he's this forward-moving guy. He's this more, if you want, more egocentric guy. He's more the person who cares for his own needs. This is, again, if we come back to Sex and the City, this is some sort of a swings with the character of Samantha in Sex and the City. This is that she's egoistic, that she only cares about herself. I mean, and this is then considered in a positive way. That's why it is some sort of male desire, because male desire having a lot of sexual or having a lot of sex partners, having a lot of sexual intercourse is being considered positive by in the main domain by men. And then whereas if you are a woman and if you want a lot of sexual partners, this is rather being considered negative. You are rather stigmatized as a slut, and so on. So it is, that's why. So in that sense, if you want, Samantha's character is some sort of, or portrays in that sense, male desire, that you don't have to feel ashamed of your sexuality. You can just take what you want. So like a man, this to all, or like many women assumes man would do. And of course this is in a way understandable. So this is not, I mean, if you see as a woman that a lot of men whore around, I mean, this is this word for it, so let's say a bit cautiously, I mean, if you see a lot of men whore around and they do not have to face social chiding, or they don't, or their reputation and social appeal is not being ruined by this, then of course this makes women jealous. You some sort of feel again the two worlds, two value systems, if you want. So women have to perform at a way higher standard than men. So and this is of course has partially a desire in it to go beyond this border between men and women, then become this man yourself. And this is then this desire, because this desire is, if we want to go into, I mean, we will not go too much into detail because we will talk about this in desire, but this is some sort of using man in a way as a tool. This is what Samantha partially does. I mean, where men are being diminished in a way as a tool, and this is where how many women imagine men would think. So a woman is just a woman with a nice ass and boobs, and the more you have, this is some sort of a trophy. So and you some sort of just for your thrill. You don't care about anything that's beyond your thrill. It's just about excitement. It is about yourself. This is again how women portray man or male sexuality. And then Samantha in Sex and the City, she then emulates this in a way with a lot of sexual partners, and that she appears shallow in a way, but this is shallowness again is something very we have to be cautiously in that sense, because shallowness does not mean necessarily that you are a plain human being. Shallowness means that you, for example, that you can have an intricate character, but you are some sort of emotionally distant. If you only consider the character of Mr. Big in Sex and the City, then you can see, if you only see, everyone would actually assume, he's shallow as well. He's distant. He is not willing to commit. He dates other women next to Carrie. So you could then say, isn't he shallow as well? And where's the difference between Mr. Big and Samantha? Has Mr. Big some sort of a certain style, because he goes for shallow women as well. So he marries the woman who looks beautiful, but not the woman who might love her, or only in the end loves her. And this is so this is where we have to be a little bit cautious, whereas sexual or emotional shallowness versus the character or having an intricate character, because if you do not want to commit to a relationship, if you do not want to live monogamous, or if you want to have more than or many sexual partners, this does not necessarily mean that this person is emotionally shallow or something. However, and then we talked about Miranda. This was some sort of where things could have become some sort of difficult to understand, but the narration was. This is what I talked about it previously, that women at Miranda, the character of Miranda in Sex and the City, this is actually a character which in a way epitomizes many women in real life who have to make a living or have to be successful in a through and through male domain. So this is what business and society is about. So there are not very many areas where you can some sort of be a woman, whatever this means. We of course know this is always some sort of questionable, what is a gender and so on. However, but if you see it, Miranda in Sex and the City, she's a lawyer. This is typically a male domain. She dresses like a boy, if you want. She has a short hair and so, and of course many feminists and so associate themselves with her. And then we talked about it in previous episodes. That to be successful for women in a male domain always comes with sacrifices, and sacrifices like that you have to be a part of it, that you have to be some sort of the body of other male cliques, because this is what we know from sociology, that in many companies there is some sort of a male group, and things in a company are rather organized like male groups, like a peer group, and if you're a woman, you are mostly excluded from these peer groups, or from these male groups, bromances and whatsoever. And then of course you have to some sort of have male manners, be like a man, act like a man, and this of course comes with with sacrifices of your femininity.